Well, a warm welcome everyone and welcome back to the Newcastle Gold Cup for 2025, the unofficial official start to the 2025 split tender season here in Australia. We are in the beautiful Port Stephens region of northern, or the mid-north coast of New South Wales. This morning,
home team, they are playing against this home team. They are playing against this Manly amalgamation. On the team sheet, they're listed as the Maverick Marlin Manly team, with some margaritas as well, reportedly in there. Sean, around break to Anna Stoddard. McCarthy really focusing on stopping the flow down the break side. Stoddard looking. Manly short. On the doorstep. They're looking for that clean offensive possession with Maylee Rickards-Tang scoring the first point for the Manly amalgamation. I think for both of these teams, it's about seeing where you're at. Potentially two different trajectories. Manly looking to bring that new talent in. Both teams actually looking to bring new talent in and get them introduced to high-level women's ultimate. So this will be the first point for the Sugar Mags on offense. After Manly held their offensive possession cleanly. Hill, to Leanne King in the middle. Murray, power cutting out of the stack. Engages the reset with King. Can't get it to a high stall situation. It's just going to go with the bailout throw and a turnover. And I welcome a breathless John Greenfield back to the commentary box for another day of spectacular weather and awesome ultimate Frisbee. John, good morning.
Oh, good morning, Dan. And it was such a great day yesterday. I'm really hoping we get the same quality today. And I'm super excited to see this game. It's our own Sugar Mags from Newcastle, where I hail from, against a Manly team. And this is interesting. We'll get to it at the break. Let's watch the game at the moment.
I'm calling them the Manly amalgamation.
Yes, yeah, that's a good call, actually.
Rather than the Manly Maverick Marlins.
Yeah.
Which, I got that one out cleanly, but I don't have much confidence. That's a long throw that gets picked off down the stretch by Beck Crosby.
Good read from Beck.
Hill. Murray, power out of the stack again, and then power throwing down to Hart. Too deep.
All right, we're seeing two shots down that sideline. And there's a fair bit of sit on them, no completions. So I'd like to see them work at least just one more pass before they go for that goal shot. Mally going for a horror here, Dan. From the corner, always difficult.
So, I don't know. As a coach, I never liked it. As a player, I hated it even more, I think. Because you're just left with so few options, only really two to pick from with the two cutters in front of your face, and then, you know, your reset is fairly static and crammed for space, and then this happens where you're struggling to find options. You're in your own end zone. You got to find something. Oh! Gets the throw away. Kirsty Murray's going to call it back on a stall.
It's a stall is called, and we almost saw a Callahan there. And exactly as we call it, we've got to be very quiet here because they're on the sideline. But that is just so difficult to get out of when you're on the sideline, you're playing a horror. I'd like to see them change that up to a vert if in that same situation again.
Well, we've seen teams over the years try different wrinkles out of, that corner reset situation, diagonal stacks and isolations. And the Horo, it's just so hard. So the Sugar Mags, a golden opportunity. Murray comes power to the front on the break side. Hill can't find it, goes over the top with a loopy one.
All right. Well, I'm relieved.
A hold for the Sugar Magnolias.
A hold for the Sugar Mags. Let's quickly talk about Manly team here. So as you say, it's amalgamation. I think we could even, being Australian, let's lose the A and just call it amalgamation. So the Manly amalgamation. And so they're running for 2 even teams, both going for Div 1, which I love. It's a great club builder, that one. You don't want to go too far like Sunder and just keep going for forever and ad infinite. But 1 year of this and then combine again and try and get a title under your belt. But so what they've done here, because it's the amalgamation, they've got one line of one team, one line of the other, which is a really smart way to go about it because they get to work their connections in the teams that they'll be playing with at Nationals.
There you go. And sorry, Manly, we've renamed your team. The amalgamation.
The amalgamation. No way.
The Manly amalgamation. And the Sugar Magnolias, plenty of experience out there for them. It's a little bit of a victory lap, a tour de force, a return to, several different generations of key Sugar Magnolias out there. And on the screen you see Britt McCarthy, probably the current generation, the star of the current team.
Yep. Although I would add Kirsty Murray in there as well. Yep. Unlucky rep. She did rep under 24s in 2018 with the Blue Bottles. Nevertheless, here we go.
Manly on offense. Caught by Paige Mackay. Strawn across the field. Stoddard. Strawn. Mackay. Mackay summing things up. Looks for the inside shot. Nice layout grab.
Great reflex grab.
Hannah Gregory gets horizontal. Saves the offense. Manly still without a turn. Stoddard providing width for the Manly offense.
Pankhurst.
Oh! Gregory past the bidding. McCarthy, there's the score. It's Jessica Richards in the end zone. Manly looking good on offense.
Yes, and that was a clean hold, albeit an excellent layout layout catch to save that by Hannah Gregory. They're spreading the field well, connecting. There's a lot to like about that first O point. Has to be said, these are 2 younger lines though. Taz Anderson, who is a player coach but not playing today, I believe, and the other coach, Di Warman, not here, went home yesterday. So this is all on Taz to rally the troops and to get them sorted on the line. But yeah, that was a beautiful O point, and wouldn't it be nice here to see the Sugar Mags get a clean O on this run here, Dan?
Coming back to what I was saying about representatives from different generations, we've got, the original generation probably represented in Leanne King. The generation after that, that's Liz Dodd.
Yep, that's right. And then you go through, probably, is there Liz out there?
Gina Hill.
Gina Hill.
Kind of came after
Liz
and was in that generation. And then you've got the future generation being represented in young Tilly Smith.
Yeah.
So
started, I think, when she was 14 at Newcastle League. It's come through. She's also a disc golfer. But yeah, Leanne King, she was there at the very start of Sugar Mags in 2003.
It's still going around some 22 years later. King receives some width to Sanders, and Sanders is just going to stick it to Kirsty Murray. And Murray, she drops the hook.
Okay, well, we got our clean hold. Now, it was with a pretty juicy punt that set up. But you know what? I'd back Kirsty Murray to get that.
Kirsty Murray is going to be a problem for these Manly defences. How do you stop someone so tall and athletic, and potentially a good problem for Manly to have at this stage of the season.
Yeah.
Because there are other receivers like play in similar veins. You know, I think of Michaela Dunmore.
Yeah.
You know, and then there's a couple of those ellipsis girls
Yeah.
that also play in similar kind of fashion.
Yeah.
Okay, what are we going to try here?
Yeah.
Eva Weatherall, exactly. What are we going to try here that we could then pull out later in the season against those weapons, because we're going to see them at Nationals.
Yeah. And the matchup there, she had height on her matchup. And you actually saw Kirsty. She knew that she didn't have to jump much, so she just lined up her arm like a giant claw above the defender and just reached up to grab it. She knew she didn't have to do a lot to get that. And she wasn't going to be sucked into an early bid.
Tell you what, John, this sun this morning has a little bit of bite to it.
It's getting us off our seats, which is probably a good thing, Dan. You know, otherwise we'd be sitting down all day.
Spectacular weather here at the Malabula Sports Complex.
I don't have my glasses on, but who's pulling there? Oh, it's a lefty. Is that Britt?
No, that's not a left.
No, it's a righty. She's just changed hands.
I'm not sure. I'll have to check on you. That one. Sorry, that's Lucinda.
Oh, that's Lou Ruby. No wonder I don't recognise her in Sugar Mag's colours.
And there's a turnover. So an unforced error, and Britt McCarthy will pick it up. McCarthy with energy straight up the line, creates an angle. Back comes Hannah Neville.
Oh,
Lou Ruby gets up the line.
Well done. She got it off.
McCarthy points. She wants something to the break side. Here comes Crosby. And now Adams all alone.
Wow. All right. First break, Dan.
The Sugar Mags ambush the Manly amalgamation. They get a break on this Manly team. Came off an unforced error, and full credit to the Sugar Magnolias, took full advantage of this early opportunity.
What I liked in their transition run here was they were patient, and they were willing to work a couple of resets until they got to the shot into the end zone, and a great read there from Danny Adams.
Good awareness as well. She knew she was close to the sideline. You see her kind of keeping the feet to the left to make sure that disc got caught inbounds. Plenty of room for error there.
Now, this is why this is the best tournament in Australia, because I've just got the TD here. He's about to drop a Barocca into my water bottle. That's service, Dan. That is service.
Yeah, he's due. He's due for Tournament of the Year. He's due for TD of the Year, I think.
Oh, man, I needed that. A little bit of BB Barocca.
No disrespect to Mandy from Wollongong and the Kiama Classic, but she didn't come and give us Barocca in the commentary box.
On the first year, they did give us Red Bull, so it sort of had the opposite effect. But no, very good. And that was a nice pull from Lucinda Ruby coming onto the Sugar Mags this year. I think Wollongong would probably struggle with a women's team. Maybe that's the reason. Right, here we go. That's Ewan.
Ewan?
Yeah, wow.
A couple of... there's a bit of a Novocastrian flavour to this Manly team, but we'll come back to that.
Oh!
Jang.
Whoa.
Oh, a flashing bid by Hart. Now they go down the sideline to Manly. Through Spears.
Oh!
On the goal line. Jang again. Oh, that's a missed, huge shot. The throw went inside as the cut went outside.
Can we say that there was a lot of good pressure, good match pressure there from the Sugar Mags that led to that turn?
Match pressure is one of the ways that you get turns when you need them. Here comes Murray again, power out of the stack. Smith trying to create some width. Sanders gets it, and he's going to unleash to Murray, who has to bid full length.
That's normally bread and butter for Kirsty Murray. I reckon it might have been a slippery disc, but nevertheless, Manly back with the disc.
Ewan. Centers to Amber Richards. Richards gestures to the break side. The nod of the head. Oh, that's a big bid, and it's done enough.
Now, we need to check here on Murray. It was a sensational bid, and it was enough to put the receiver off, but she's probably winded herself. She has no respect for her body. And she's coming off here. What a warrior. 2 layouts in the point. That one, she probably knew that she wasn't actually going to read it. It was a safe bid, but it did the job. It did enough to put off the receiver. Wow. Geez, Dan. Good start to this game. Beautiful conditions here. Not a breath of wind.
Calm as. And when you're laying out, often it's not the first, but if you have another one soon after, you know, that the punishment can accumulate. A poach in the lane.
Oh, didn't that work well for them? Poached in the lane there and got the turnover. They're in the red zone.
Richards. Ewan. Jang. Engages the reset. Richards. In close quarters. Goes the around. Ewan had the swing for a moment. Decides to go back from whence it came. Richards. Jang again. The Sugar Magnolias doing well with the Manly offense. Really not making a lot of meters at all. Donaldson. On the sideline. Richards being busy in this point. Getting every other pass at the moment. There's the break throw. This might get them out, if not for the pick.
Amber Richards is the linchpin on this one. I've been very impressed with Daisy Ewan. She's distributing really nicely, very patiently. But it's Amber Richards with the break throws, which is going to unlock the defence here. Unlucky with a pick there not to get that one.
So the disc is going to be relatively high still, coming in on 6. I think Richards is just going to take what's in front of her here and try and get it to Ewan. No, goes the break side instead. Just hangs it out there. Beautiful throw out into space, allowing the receivers to track it down. Manly happy to play possession at the moment. Ewan goes again. Up the line, that's the breaker. That's the one they were looking for as Amir Spears.
Yeah.
No layout to put her off on the catch that time.
Yeah, well done, Spears. That's actually a good matchup between Britt and Spears there. I think that's nice. But again, it was the break from Amber Richards which spread the field and set up this goal. Well done. That was a hold though for Manly, right? So we are now at 3-3. But now the Mags get a look at offense going, well, what is upfield. There's a slight slope from right to left, so they'll be going slightly uphill, but not a breath of wind here. Still early morning. Quite a bit of dew on the ground, which might have affected Kirsty Murray's layout attempt. But very nicely done from Manly.
Let's talk a little bit about the Novocastrian flavour.
Yeah.
To Newcastle alums, Daisy Ewan, and also Anna Stoddard, who's out on the line. You see her walking around at the moment.
Where is she? She's actually on the line there. Yeah.
So two players that are now playing for Manly and having a great deal of success down there. Lovely to see those players. They're both really good players. And now mixing it up with the best that Sydney have to offer.
I played with both of them in 2018 on Pie Wagon mixed team for Worlds in Cincinnati. That was Anna Stoddard's first gig, really, as Ultimate. And she was a bit like a fawn straight out of the horse's womb, but she's now doing really well. There's a clash there, Dan. What happened? Did we see that?
No, just one running one way, one running the other, and both looking in the opposite direction.
This can happen when you're trying to set the stack, where the offense is looking at the throwers to try and set the stack. Meanwhile, the defenders are streaming down to try and catch up with their marks. And this sort of thing can happen. Totally accidental. I think it's the onus is on the team running down. Now, I don't know how late that was. It might have been that they couldn't do anything about that at all. Right, here we go.
Disc is in. Lou Ruby. I want to talk about something here, John. I'll come back to the thought as the Sugar Mags nearly get caught with it. King sees it, sticks it. Contest is there, well read in the end.
Brianna almost got that there. She's a good read of the disc. She's got a little bit caught up in the contest. But it is a turnover with 64 metres to go for the Manly on transition.
Manly come in to possession. This is their opportunity to get that break back. Oh, another scuba dump. Pankhurst. That's out and around to Anna Stoddard, and Stoddard likes what she sees. She's going to boost it to the end zone. Wrong shape on the disc.
As soon as she put that, she threw her head back. She knew that she got the wrong edge on it. The option was perfect. She had a streaming receiver that with plenty of steps. She just needed to put a bit more outside in on that, and it would have been perfect. Well, Mag's back with the disc, but now they face 64 metres the other way. What were you going to say about the resets? Or
it
about
looks like the resets for the Sugar Magnolias are very, very long distance. Like they're one out, and there's not a lot of recycle. Like it's 3 or 4 stalls for one look. Whereas we were seeing teams yesterday that were, ooh, that's a big huck looking for Danny Adams. That is on the money by Leanne King. It doesn't get any better than that. She just picks her out from 40 yards away.
Well, that's a long reset. What a throw. We've known for 20 years that Leanne has that long flick in her. She put that on an absolute dime there for Danny Adams. But I couldn't agree more. We actually saw it just there. We had Lou Ruby and maybe they're still trying to sort out how they interact with each other, Leanne and Lou. She was a long way away. Leanne actually looked to her and went, gee, that is going to be a hard reset. Then sees Danny and just absolutely uncorks it to the end zone.
I think, like, we were looking at teams yesterday, and a lot of those teams were able to get multiple reset looks, within 3 or 4 seconds. They were getting 2 or 3 opportunities to throw a reset very, very quickly, whereas the Sugar Mags, their resets, I don't know what it is. They just seem slower, where it's like 3 or 4 seconds for only one, whereas some of the great teams yesterday, it was 3 or 4 looks in that same time period.
Yeah.
So something to potentially keep an eye on, and for this Manly team, something for them to identify, hey, if we can clamp onto, potentially that 1 or 2 reset looks for the Sugar Mags, we're going to get some really good stall pressure here.
I think if they're going to set up that far away, give yourself a run up to that. So when you're engaged, you're running towards the thrower, and then you can choose left or right, and then stick to that.
Do you think it's that they're setting up too far away from the disc?
Well, I think they are. What we've just seen, they are.
Yep.
But if you're going to do that, get a bit of a run up before you choose your direction and get your defender offside.
Okay. Ewan receives that on the full and then goes to Amber Richards. Richards now out into space.
Buttery throw. You can see why Amber Richards is getting talked about a lot around the circles.
She looks a little bit like a well-known player from Ellipsis. You might know her. She's called G, I think, her nickname. She's got that same kind of movement, that same, butteriness about the throws in and out of the hands.
And time. She seems to have all sorts of time with the disc. Really good signs for a handler. But now another great handler, Gina Hill, picking it up.
Hill steps into it, and then the outside in. The defense goes after it.
Wow.
The Sugar Magnolias right now, they're happy to air it out because they know they've got the throws and they've got the receivers.
I did not expect that to get, I thought she'd thrown it out. Then I thought the Manly defenders had a really good shot at getting that. But somehow, Kirsty Murray ends up with this on the sideline. We see the throw go up on the replay. Let's have a look. She's going to have to wait for a toes it in. Oh, sensational work. And you can tell Gina Hill knows a good receiver and not willing to put it. She's a Australian representative, got a silver medal last year at the World Team Disc Golf Championships over in Perth. a fantastic effort, as did Kirsty Murray, was in that team. So we're seeing elite level throwers out here combining it with their legs in the beautiful game of ultimate. As we look across here, I-beam versus Crank.
I was just looking at Crank just running a train over that I-beam line.
And did I see that was LJ matching on Kobe? That's a tough mark.
It is. It's a tough mark for anyone.
Well, especially if you're coming back from a broken leg.
That's what I mean.
And you're matching up against a rangy receiver like Kobe Ryan, who had his inaugural Dingo rep last year.
So we turn our attention back to the Sugar Magnolias Manly amalgamation match. Manly have been ambushed by the Novocastrians. They've come out and they've put on a couple of breaks. Oh, and here's another big time turn. This is deep in the red zone.
Was that Ellie? I think we have to wait. My eyesight's not good enough at this distance.
Hill picks it up. Nobody moves. Just straight out of the stack. And Lou Ruby gets the score. The Sugar Magnolias have the momentum at the moment, 6-3.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see a timeout here, but let's see. Because they're changing lines, maybe they can hang on because they know that the garbage is not being collected by the other line, you know what I mean? They don't have to put that garbage out. No, they are going the timeout.
Okay.
Taz signals that. She wants a word with the troops.
Okay. I'm going to run off and check our team sheet because I've got some names and some numbers mixed up here.
Okay.
And I don't want to be calling the wrong name and number.
Yeah.
I'll be right back. John,
Righty,
I'll leave it to you.
I'll hold the fort.
To
and
entertain our viewers here this morning.
I'm going to find my glasses and put those on. Getting old, Dan. Don't recommend it. Righto. Time out here. And who's talking in the chat? That's Sarah Sanders. So for Sugar Mags, Bubbles, as you affectionately know, coming from the US. A really good player. Just had her first child. She is laying down the law for the Sugar Mags, and I'm guessing what she's saying is it's not enough. It's a great start, but we've got to keep this up. Meanwhile, over in the Manly huddle, who's talking here? Taz is laying down the law here. It's an interesting challenge for her because she's got to sort of talk to two different teams and give the same consistent message. I think at the start of this game we're seeing a bit more cohesiveness from the Mags. And that it just comes from years of playing with each other. Whereas for the Manly team, two new teams, two new lines that they've got to get to know each other. Now, what I can see here, Taz, number 3, she is going to be playing on this line. She's seen enough, and she's going to come on herself to steady the ship for Manly. Now, what do we... So it is Hannah in 14 and Ellie in 21 or 27?
It was Ellie Neville who got the block there, 27. Huge play in the context of the game, John, to find that block so deep in the red zone. It just gives your offense such a great opportunity because, well, you've only got 15 yards to go. And finding a pass at that range for this calibre of player, easy times. And you saw one pass, one goal.
Yeah. And that's where you can really cash in. You get a block like that. Yep. Defense hasn't had time to really set up.
Yep.
Ruby knew that. Yeah.
For Manly, this is a great situation for them to be in. I know it's probably not what they want it to be, but, okay, you're building towards Div 1. You've come out. You haven't started particularly well, right? There's been some unforced errors. And the other team, meanwhile, is taking their opportunities. Okay, now's the time for us to practice getting our heads in the game.
Yep. And you want an offense that's forged in fire, don't you? Oh, she thought it was she thought the black line was the outline. She suddenly realised it was an in-pull, and we're starting.
No harm, no foul. We continue on. Taz Anderson. Oh, no.
Yes.
She's put herself on the line and then a turn away, a high disc.
Yep, to
Lou now picks it up, nods, says yes. Andronikos goes. McCarthy up the line, contested reception. McCarthy is going to look. Oh, that's
what a
hot
catch.
catch in traffic by Saki Nakajo.
Okay, there were two great grabs there in that sequence. Britt McCarthy really had to push through and get her arms in front of the defender there to get that one. And then that last catch from Saki, that was very nice.
I mean, Britt McCarthy, she's always had that bit of steel about her. Even when she first started playing, you knew there was just this toughness, this willingness to get in there and compete. Didn't really matter if she had it or not. She was just going to get in there and show up. And yeah, I think that's kind of become an element, like a real defining mark of her game is that she's just a raw competitor that's just happy to get after it.
She's got a mind like a steel trap, Dan, and I reckon that's what the selectors saw when they picked her.
I've just got a message from Mandy Lee, TD, of the Classic. She's just calling me out. She said, I delivered pies and sausage rolls to you guys with a crying emoji.
Oh.
Hey, look, Mandy, you got to share around the tournament and TD of the Year award. You've won it too many times.
Yeah.
Hand it over. Get your hands off the trophy.
Well, that's the thing, right? When you've got a tournament like Golmana, what do you know?
Yeah.
People have such a good time there that, of course, you're going to be voting. You go, oh, yeah, Golmana. So, yeah, fair cop. And what a job that Mandy's done on that tournament. And it's the only designated fun tourney in Australia. Anyway, here we go.
Manly, they're in trouble here. Sugar Magnolias up 7-3 in this match. Amber Richards. Can she muster something for the team? Another smooth throw. Jang. Oh, it's high and it's loose. Tilly Smith turns around and captures it for the Sugar Magnolias. Sarah Sanders goes back. King now. Out goes Bree Hart. And King likes what she sees. She's going to reach down the field and Brianna Hart has a great situation. The Sugar Magnolias take half. The Manly amalgamation has been ambushed. And the Sugar Magnolias are playing some clinical ultimate at the moment.
Fantastic work from Leanne King. Again, she's got the feel now for that forehand flick. She saw what she liked. Brianna Hart, who's a natural-born receiver, and this time she doesn't miss and takes a very nice catch. And as you say, it's all in front for Manly. I totally agree with you. This is a great opportunity for Manly. Forged in fire, that's what they've got to be saying. That is going to be their mission. We're going to get better. We're going to get better connections. And it's going to happen right here at Gold Cup. And it's going to happen right in the second half. That's what she needs to be saying to this team because they are going to be feeling ambushed right now.
Well, we will take a quick break. I'm going to go apologise to Mandy Lee. Send her a quick message. I didn't think she'd be listening, but I've been caught out. So on that note, we're going to take a quick break. The Sugar Magnolias out in front, 8-3 in this match against the Manly amalgamation. So the team's coming back out after the halftime break. John, I love that terminology, forged in fire for Manly. This is, I think, it's like that optimism, that glass half full kind of perspective that, okay, we didn't want to be in this situation, but now we are. So let's make the best of it. How do they start to, approach this game in a different?
They're starting the way exactly as you'd want on defense. So they've got to get their legs moving. They've got to get some wins with a hard match. If they can put early pressure on, the Sugar Mags get a turn, get a break, it'll do wonders for them. So this is actually the perfect start for them. They didn't want to really come back on 0 and find the same issues. And the issues haven't been much. You know, we've seen 2 passes for gainers under that have gone over the receiver's head. That's something that's pretty easy to address and adjust to. But let's see what they come out with. It's got to be match, you'd think. Bit of hard match would do the girls really well here.
And that's a good pull to start. It's going to drive Leanne King back. McCarthy. And Manly are going to go with the wrinkle. They throw a zone for the Mac. It works out. Murray collects it. Adams dives to her left to preserve the offense. King. I think on balance, the Mac is actually probably the better option because the receiver had turned to go the other way after Leanne King had thrown that pass. There's a breaker. Adams now looking towards the middle. Andronicus. Murray. Great spot to be. Manly transition. They look for the match. King. Now the breakthrough. It goes out in front of McCarthy, and really the first error that we've seen today for the Sugar Magnolias, at least for the last half a dozen points.
Exactly. They've been clinical, and the shape of everything on that offensive drive was apart from an almost block on the first pass, but
Manly go the horizontal and a first pass turnover. It's going to give the disc back to the Sugar Magnolias. Ruby, centre position. She'll look to throw the goal here, you would think. Instead, goes the safe pass to the reset of Leanne King, and now King's going to drill it in. Strong defence.
Now, who was that on the Manly side? What is she, number 6?
Maylee Rickards-Tang.
Yes, yeah, she's very good.
Oh, Manly going out of this horizontal again. Strawn deep in her own end zone. There's the block getter, Rickards-Tang. Under pressure. Stoddard gathers. Stoddard looking for a reset. Murray flashing, trying to get the block. Mackay. Another turnover. The Sugar Magnolias defense is holding this Manly offense to next to no meters. Ruby gestures in. That's a tough one. Low. Strawn Mackay. Manly go with some pace to get some meters. Hannah Gregory. Maylee Rickards-Tang. Pankhurst. Strawn. Oh, that's another low one outside in. It never had the life it needed.
So, seeing a pattern. Manly looking really good until they go for that long shot for a big gain or under, and that's where the turnover happens. It's happened 3-4 times already.
Oh, King double pumps it, and Maylee Rickards-Tang jumps the pass. Huge turnover for Manly. There's the cut by Pankhurst. It's too far out in front.
No, Pankhurst, after having done a lot of running in the cup, finds that one going past her. That's a tough break for Manly, but they've got to hold their faith here. They've gotten turns here. This is the first step, is they've cracked the nut of the Mags offense.
And the Sugar Magnolias will need to work the entire length of the field against the zone. Oh, the scuba over the top. Perfect weather for it. Adams, Ruby just cold drop, unforced.
Righto. Anna Stoddard calling for calm. Wants to make sure of this one.
The play call comes from the backfield. We're going horizontal. Rickards-Tang has been important. Stoddard, everything goes to the right Stoddart holds it. Mackay now going to drill for the corner. And Pankhurst scores a needed one for Manly. They do get that break out of halftime.
Yeah, it's exactly what we say. We're seeing it forge and fight. Use that. It's actually a show about making knives. Nevertheless.
That's right. It's got that guy who asks if it'll kill.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the one.
That's the one. And Pankhurst was the killer there with a goal in the corner. Yeah. Yeah. That's a good pickup for Manly coming from Wollongong. And growing up in the Blue Mountains, like myself, Pankhurst, it's a great... If you want an engine, spend all your formative years in the Blue Mountains in Australia, because it's at 1,000 metres elevation. You learn how to get a bit of oxygen in your lungs. So we saw that Pankhurst doing all the work in the cup and making two great cuts, getting the second one for the goal.
A real positive, I think, for Manly is as they were walking past, there wasn't 1, 2, but there was 3 of them having a bit of a chirp at us as they walked past. And clearly, they're in good spirits. They're in this game. They haven't let their heads drop. And so that's a positive, I think, in and of itself. Having that great attitude, still out there, having fun, having that good mental space, creates the opportunity.
Yep.
And down the stretch in this game, it will be just a case of, all right, let's win this half, let's win this point, and let's see where we get to. Because 1 or 2 more turns, trade a couple, hey, you're within striking distance, and that's all you need to do as the game draws on. McCarthy, Hill.
Ooh.
Manly are going to stick with this zone. Created turns. And I think the Sugar Magnolias just need to take the pedal off the gas a little bit. Their higher octane offense. More patience required. Certainly aggressive. Now the pass, Tilly Smith off the left hand.
Just a tad behind her. She'd be disappointed, though, not to get a miss on that one. All right. We're seeing a little change here. This zone working for Manly.
Up the line cut. Jiang goes the reset instead. Out into space. Yun Eng.
Oh, good mark there from Bubbles, Sarah Saunders. Spears.
Eng getting involved and trying to marshal something out of the offense. For Leah, a loose one. It works out for Manly.
Well,
some luck for them.
So that throw meant for Spears, but backing up, Dan, as we talked about yesterday, if you back up, if you put that effort in, you will be rewarded, and that's what we saw there for Manly. That's 2 on the trot after half. This is exactly what the doctor ordered for Manly, isn't it? Sugar Mags now. Okay, now let's talk Sugar Mags.
Whilst there's a little bit of pressure on them, they need to not let that pressure really get to them, because they're still 3 points up.
There's 3 points up. They're on the breeze is just starting to come in now.
So you're on offense, John. You've just seen the Manly defence bring 2 zones in a row. What are you going to say to your fellow players out there?
Well, I can see Kirsty Murray laying it down. She's going to be saying something about how they're flowing through the zone. When you look at the last point, it was just a very simple execution error. So nothing too much to worry about. But they have lost 2 on the trot. They know the zone is coming again. So she'll just be trying to settle things down. As you said, take the foot off the pedal a little bit. And what we saw Kirsty Murray do in there was find a gap behind the cup. The cup is tightening up. And you get that when teams are on a role-playing zone, their cut will tighten and tighten and tighten to the point of double team. And that's when spaces open up behind the cup. And the breeze is coming straight towards our commentary box. So that is, how would you describe that to the viewers?
Blustery and swirly again.
Yeah.
It's similar to yesterday where the wind picked up gradually over the course of the day. Zone again for Manly. Oh, they get the turn again. It's working right now. This defensive wrinkle for Manly is turning out to be a masterstroke. They get another opportunity. Rickard's tang has been so important. She's going to throw the goal. And Manly are rolling out of halftime. 3 breaks in a row to bring the game to 8-6.
And now we're in a game. We are in a game. 8-6. Great work from Manly there. But the Sugar Mags, they're trying to push the pass through the cup. Yep. Take a breath. Try and get some space laterally before you start earn the upfield. Earn the upfield passes. Well done, Manly. Look at the celebration. They're up and about. Look at the energy here, Dan.
And their entire team on the field celebrating. And now they're going to go to haunches to receive the play call.
All right.
At this stage, with such success, you've got to stick with the zone, I think.
Oh, you have to.
Until the Sugar Mags show that they can beat it.
Yeah.
Stick with it, because it is creating no end to the problems.
And now is a slight disadvantage. They're working slightly against the wind. But I really, really hope they look to spread the disc before and earn their upfields. All right. We have a game.
I feel like the Sugar Mags need a Hayden Irish kind of player who is just happy to noodle it around, make 50 or 60 lateral backhand passes if they need to, and provide easy resets. Because the Sugar Mags, they're feeling, it seems like they're feeling like they've got to go down the field straight away rather than earning it, like you say.
Yeah. All right, let's see.
Murray gets the give-go, some momentum. The Sugar Mags are going to live and die by the sword. I think they're going fast. Hill. Match for Manly. They transition out of their zone, given that it didn't really slow down the Sugar Mags at all. Hill gestures back the other way and now puts it out to Danny Adams.
Wow. Well, what do we know, Dan?
Exactly.
We asked for calm and lateral movement. Instead, what we got was just full ball, high octane offense.
I think the analogy might be, if your offense is a sledgehammer, you hit it hard enough, everything becomes a nail. Doesn't really matter if you can stick with it and show tenacity.
Yeah.
Maybe you just need to go back to the well and try a little bit harder.
In a cricket analogy, it's like when they say, if you're going to nick it hard. Oh, well, okay.
Much needed for the Sugar Mags.
They stem the flow of blood from the wound. And who else but Danny Adams? Gee, she's been a successful receiver for so many years now. And she does it again. Gina Hill, the provider. Gina looked off a slightly open Jackie Andronigus for a backhand and then just saw an easier high percentage option on the open side. Nothing wrong with that. That was the first time that they looked off a pass, I think. Otherwise, it was just go, go, go.
And for the Sugar Mags, their defensive options are a little bit open now. Given that the conditions are changing, the wind's starting to pick up, do they stick with the match or do they throw a wrinkle of their own? What are your thoughts here?
Yes. I don't know how developed their zone is, how much they've been working in practice. I think they'll go match. Because Manly haven't shown that they can actually work it in match successfully. What I want to see from Manly is that they nail those big unders. They're getting good separation on the unders, but they're overthrowing them. As soon as they can make that adjustment, I think their offense is going to look a lot better. But what they've got to be careful of is there's a little breeze that's picked up, so the chances of popping a disc over a receiver is increased right now.
I'm just thinking, in recent history, we've seen some defensive calls that have created issues. Maybe now is the time for the forced middle. The Sugar Magnolias. Still stick with the match, but just try and force a little bit of weirdness. Well, that's a rough one. Maylee Rickards-Tang is putting a case forward for MVP at the moment for this Manly amalgamation team. Eva Strawn. Stoddard in a lot of space. Stoddard will try and throw the goal. Stoddard will. No, she won't. It's in and out of the hands.
We were
Hannah Gregory.
We were just about to say, well, I was about to say, well, that's exactly what Manly wanted. And look, no matter what happens right now, they've they've worked out how to work it up the field quite easily there.
Maybe
that's sort of what it looks like.
Manly just needed some wind. That was what was missing, as they were missing shots to the break side for gains. They needed a bit of wind to give it some shape. Liz Sinclair. Sanders goes up, creates the space.
Hannah.
Neville. King. The big fake. Tilly Smith unmarked. Sanders. Nice move. Creating space for herself. Goes up and then back in. Sanders is going to call the foul. Gregory with the chop.
No contest from Gregory.
Just means your hands moves in the right spot, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Just needs to be a little bit wider. King driving up the line. And then the miscue. Now it falls to Mackay. Mackay resets. Maylee Rickards-Tang goes the break. Sanders plays in space well. Sanders gestures and then she's going to go with the big backhand, throwing it as far as she can. Anna Stoddard read it all the way. Strawn meters Gregory. Rickards-Tang. She's the glue that binds at the moment. That's a beautiful throw out to Paige Mackay. Rickards-Tang. Stoddard for the goal. She's throwing it all the way down, and Manly get the point.
Wow, what an arm wrestle that was. You can feel the contest for momentum going on out there in that point. Who had momentum, and really Manly should have just scored on their first run there.
This might be unfair, and please tell me if it is, but it felt like the Sugar Magnolias, when they picked up the disc on the turn, they were a little bit out of ideas. They didn't know how are we going to do this, because it just seemed like, okay, well, let's just jack it and see if we can bring it down.
Yeah, I think there was genuine. I think Sarah Saunders won. The receiver had steps. She just couldn't get it out for whatever reason early, and by that time, Anna Stoddard had tracked back and read the disc and got it. So yes, I do like in the Sugar Mags they're doing what we call a slash and fill, where the dump just goes up the line and then a fill comes out of the stack. They did that quite successfully once, then it didn't work a second time because it was a harder one around with a flick. And that's where the problem was. Hannah Neville, I think, just stopped in her cut, didn't think she had it, and the defender got it. That led to the goal. But yeah, it's on. You can feel the momentum gradually changing. With a goal here, Sugar Mags can retain that momentum, but Manly are coming back hard.
And the Sugar Magnolias, they have to expect the zone.
Yeah.
They have to know it's coming.
Yeah, and that wind is picking up a little bit more.
And with Kirsty Murray off the field, we'll see if they do go full metal, full accelerator. Hill. Liz Dodd. Oh, testing it. Hill, the fake, throws open Adams. Manly have come down in a match. They've thrown everyone off. Hart. Dodd. Hill. Has options, had the hammer to Ruby. Didn't go for it. McCarthy. Hill clears. Nothing down the field. Oh, that's wrong-footed. Gina Hill is McCarthy through the first look.
Yeah.
And Hill wanting to make a move.
Yep. Classic miscommunication, but it's a turnover. Manly will gratefully accept it.
Jang. Jang is going to absolutely boost this. And what a throw that one is. Huge. Amaya Spears.
And what Spears, what a receiver. She's got the height and she's got the legs. And she's just one of those players that has got a good nose for the end zone, you know. She knows the timing for her cuts. And wasn't that throw absolutely on point?
Jiang just
ripping that. I actually thought it was way too hard out of the hands, but it ended up going straight onto her chest.
Absolutely perfect. And I think because Amir Spears was so far down the field, Jiang did need to keep it low and throw it hard to get the disc past the streaming defender.
And we've seen all yesterday that throw has led to so many turnovers going too far in front. But she had the measure of that throw. That was very, very nice.
Manly have, out of halftime, completely changed the complexion of this game. 5-1 since half, John.
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it? And they did it on the back of their zone. What's interesting, they put it away for that point, and I thought, oh, that was a mistake. It was at the red zone where the high-octane offense of Sugar Mags came a bit unstuck. They ran out of easy options. Suddenly, with the reset required, a hard reset, that's where a little miscue happened between Gina.
But in terms of like the tactical battle that's happening out there, that now gives Manly the option to go back to it and have a little bit of shock value.
Yeah.
In, okay, we've just now run man. Okay, what's the next one going to be? Could be zone, could be man. And like the instructions then that the offense can give, they've kind of got to cover off on both options, which maybe dilutes what you would say because, well, us humans, we can only really cover or remember 1-2 things in our mind that we're told. Huge throw over the top by Leanne King. Crosby. Hill. Hill goes the break. Oh, it's into space.
Oh, she picked the gap between two receivers there. Yeah, just threw Sarah Sanders just too far under for her.
Strawn out to Stoddard. Stoddard throws the inside shoulder of Pankhurst, and Leanne King tries to go straight back the other way. Stoddard gets the glove up.
I think she forgot for a minute she wasn't playing for Newcastle.
She's she's caught plenty of passes from Leanne King over the years.
Yeah.
Paige Mackay. Eva Strawn. Pankhurst trying to work to the open side.
Good hard graft there from Gregory.
And it looks like the Sugar Mags are actually forcing middle here, John.
No, that's a flick force. I think they might just got one of the forces wrong here. Oh.
Well, Manly with possession, trying to work it out. Pankhurst in space.
Now what's happened? Now I'm now
force,
confused
John?
About the sport. Force.
It looks middle, John.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Well, if we're confused, Manly's surely confused, and they are struggling to find the option. They're managing to reset the disc, keep the stall low. So it's giving them options. Strawn now sees something that she likes. Pankhurst climbs up there.
Oh.
At the absolute zenith of her elevation. She got just the fingertips to it and couldn't clunk it.
It was to the top of her step ladder and couldn't quite haul it in.
Athleticism on display.
And now we have a 5-2 stack, vertical stack with Saunders in the lane.
And Leanne King set up a long way away. Ruby. I think Kirsty Murray needs to get involved here. Saunders.
Good cut.
Murray's defender of Taryn Anderson is just playing off and playing deep. Ruby now is going to look for the cutting Hill. Hill with a huge bid.
It was a great bid from Gina Hill, but it was too far for her. Now she's going to need a sub, landing straight onto her chest in a great layout. She'll need a sub for that one. And they're calling for Danny Adams, if I'm hearing right.
Yep.
No, it's Britt coming on. No, Danny's on. Right here. Eva Strawn, is that her helping Gina there, getting some breaths?
Checking Gina's... Go back to the replay. Oh, that was the King Stoddard connection.
Oh, that was Stoddard. Look at the look on Stoddard when she got the block was like, yeah, of course I'm going to get that. Now, okay.
Reminiscent of, when people bowl a strike
Yeah.
And they're trying not to look pleased, but you know they're happy with it.
They're happy. But they're looking like, yeah, I'll do this every day of the week. Of course I was going to get a strike.
Stoddard. Great player. Inside she goes. Oh, Leanne King gets the block. The throw was offside. Saunders on the doorstep. Saunders just needs something. Comes back to the break. Tilly Smith bids.
It's a foul. Yeah, it didn't look like it was coming out right out of the hands. I think she had an open Liz Sinclair there, but got a bit of a chop. Let's see, is that contested or not?
No, just the arm drag and uncontested foul.
Rightio. They've got to sort this out. They look at the current setup. They've sort of got 2 dumps.
Adams is in the open side. Danny Adams subs on, scores a point, walks off. Easy as you please.
Well done, Danny Adams, super sub. And didn't they need that? That's a settler. 10-8. They got the damn window. And yeah, Manly not without their chances in that point. They could have brought that to 9-all. Instead, it's 10-8 Sugar Mags. Let's have a look. We get to see, Eva Strawn just caught flat-footed there. The fresh Danny Adams just bursting straight into the open side and getting onto the open side cone.
And I think that is one of Danny Adams' particular strengths. She's got lots of them.
Yeah.
And could take a little bit of time to list them all. But particularly her acceleration, her first 1 or 2 steps, very, very rapid. Gets up to pace very fast. And if you're not kind of familiar with her, gee, you could get caught out. And Adams just effort running straight to the corner. Gets steps.
Yep.
Easy throw for the goal. And the Sugar Mags at 10-8. Well, they're forged in fire for them somewhat. They're leading, one of the great women's teams in Australia.
All right, they've got their hands out here. What's going on? Is that when they've got a match? They've all got their hands out. I don't understand that. Scene, meanwhile. Daisy Ewan helping call the line here. Senior player on this line. All right, looks like Sugar Mags have sorted out what they needed to sort out. It's going to be Britt McCarthy with the pull.
Outside in, so settles nicely inbounds. And now Amber Richards.
Jeez, wow, love her throws.
Outside in, getting it around the defense. Reset, Richards. Nice throw to centre. And now the swing to Ewan. Has a receiver going deep, is just going to launch it into the end zone. Throwing to space, Daisy Ewan. A really nice forehand. Finding the fat side of the field.
She was actually going to send that on the backhand, then had that cut off by a defender. But the defender following through opened up the flick, but she had to get it over the stack. Andronicus with a bid, got her hands up to no avail, and sat beautifully for the receiver for the goal. Well done, Manly. That was a clean hold. It looked at times there in their own third that they were leaving their throwers on an island with the sideline calling for too deep. But they sorted that out, got a nice swing, and then Ewan with the fat side for the goal. Lovely work.
Amir Spears and Andrea Falea queuing up for that goal. Ewan just almost throwing to the right spot on the field, knowing that, well, someone's going to go get that.
Yeah, well, she was lucky to have a clear line at it and put enough on it to get over Andronica's head. Meanwhile, 10-11.
Yeah, the Wollongong-Newcastle rivalry well and truly alive on the far field. That game's going to only perpetuate the rivalry between the two steel-making cities. I think for the Sugar Mags here, their offensive point, this is important times. A break could be critical.
What a pull. That is a great... I sense a disc golfer in that pull there.
Hill breaking to Murray. Now Saunders. Oh, Adams.
Oh!
Broken coverage.
Oh,
They've
no.
missed Adams, who is all kinds of free. Manly have blown the coverage, and it doesn't matter. They're going to come back the other way. Paige Mackay. Anderson.
Adams having to work double time after being open.
Anderson. Ricards Tang.
Watch this matchup, Sarah Saunders and Taze Anderson. They played together in Pyewagon in 2022. They know each other well.
Stoddard just ripping it to Richards for the goal. And a critical break for Manly to bring it back to 10-all. They have come back into this game in a big way.
It's a timeout called from the Sugar Mags. Their first, I believe. Probably coming at a good time. They don't want to let this... That was a momentum changer and up. And given that Sugar Mags had the goal, if they had just seen Adams all alone in the end zone, instead for a little dump that was a turnover, Adams had to run 30 metres back to even get back into the play. And then really nice offence on transition there from Manly. And then the receiver there, 18, cops a bit of a shoulder to the face. But the antidote there was the goal and the 10-all to Manly that made that feel much better.
And in this game, 10-all since half-time, 7-2, the score difference. Should the Sugar Mags have called a timeout before this point?
No, well, as we said...
It hasn't really felt like Manly have been on a run in a big way.
Yeah. Now, obviously, they got a couple there after a half, and you could maybe have called one there. But it still felt like there was a wrestling for the momentum. Now it feels like, oh boy, we just blew a downwind goal there that should have been ours. Let's take a breath. And again, it's for Sugar Mags, it's be about patience. And do they say that because their supercharged high octane offense has been going really well? Are they able to show some patience and get their resets going?
That does seem to be the sticking point for the Sugar Magnolias.
Yes,
it's not the Hawks. It's not, their play down the field. It just seems to be that reset when they need to recycle the disc, get that stall count back down under control.
Yeah,
that seems to be where they're struggling on offense. And for Manly, they've really made some changes to correct the things that they were struggling with in the first half. Those unforced errors have started to disappear, and they're starting to create some really good width to the field, I think, John. Anna Stoddard in particular she's just got an eye for the break side, and every chance she gets, she's using the width of the field to try and create, if not a score, but a scoring opportunity, getting meters, getting around the edge of the Sugar Mags force.
Well, she's a smart cookie, Anna Stoddard, a lawyer by trade. And just on the other side, we've just been watching a little bit of the Crank Ibing game, which could be the playoff to get internationals come regionals. Ibing are up 12-10. So it's on Crank now to bring this game back for them. They need to hold and get a break. We're seeing a pump here for... Oh! Well... On the other side, we're just seeing Kobe Ryan launch himself for a skyscraper of a catch there over Tim Hayes, the tournament director. Wow, 12-11.
Katie, our legend of a camera person, caught it as well.
Yeah.
What an absolute champion.
Yeah. Rex saying, where's my kudos?
Sorry, Rexy. You just do everything else, mate.
All right. What a game we have here, Dan. 10-all.
A gift here in the present game. 10-all and tight. The momentum in the first half well and truly the Sugar Mags. The momentum in the second half, well and truly Manly. And it's shaped this game into an absolute barn burner. The pressure is on, and forged in fire is the saying of the day. McCarthy just gives it a rip. It's low. Doesn't have the journey to find Brianna Hart.
Hart read it early, but it was not, as you said, didn't have the distance there to give her really a chance. But they've got it down this end.
Manly, they're very deep at the moment. They're set up a long way down the field. Jang, we saw a huge flick by her, and the crossfield pass is missed. Can't help but feel like I've jinxed this Manly offense, just as I was saying. They put away the skill errors. There's a skill error. And in the red zone, McCarthy goes up the line. King is going to reach for her. It's still going to sit. McCarthy, bam! She got it! Britt McCarthy with a huge layout.
But wait, there's questions. She caught it, but did she catch it in?
Anna Stoddard is over congratulating Britt McCarthy. It's going to count as a goal.
That is the play of the game so far.
I said it early, John. There's just some steel about this Britt McCarthy. She's just a competitor. The first option, it missed. She didn't give up. She kept running. Oh, yeah.
Full extension layout, holds it up. Only question was whether she got it in the field of play, and Manly happy to concede that. That's 11-10. That could be the difference in the game right there. Look at this, full extension. That is one steely player for the Steel City. What a great point.
The only thing missing there was the little waggle, John.
Yeah.
Just needed the little waggle at the end. A bit of flair on that catch. Huge play for the Sugar Mags. 11-10.
Oof, okay. Well.
Only a few minutes left in regulation, I would think.
Yep, 77 minutes. There's only a few minutes left. 11-10. It's all on Manly to even this up with a sort of the uphill and the upwind. It's a good line they've got on Manly. They've certainly got the personnel to get this job done. Kirsty Murray calling the shots for the defence. I think it's going to be matched. The fact that they wanted the line held. Anna Stoddard puts her hands up and say, come on. Come on, Kamos.
It looked like I'm more guilty, Your Honour.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, Lucinda Ruby with a pull.
Outside in, so keeping the disc inbound. Stoddard grounds it. Eva Strawn. Now Mackay. Rickards Tang, who's had a great game here this morning. Stoddard. Pankhurst. Her cut looked off. Spears.
Ooh. Had a look for Pankhurst going long there. Looked it off. Spears now. All sorts of open.
Spears is getting toasty on Ruby and Strawn Cena. That's pretty good. It's low. She'll have to bid.
Oh, that's frustrating for Spears. She spent most of that point completely open. She had the open goal there, and with that little bit of a gust of wind coming, a zephyr, as we call it, that dragged that disc down. Now Spears, I'm really hoping that's not some sort of muscle injury, but she's coming off. One of her teammates need to go and make sure she's all right. She might want to move a little bit further back.
She'll be replaced by Hannah Gregory. Tough spot for the Sugar Mags to be in. We've seen this poachy defence really create issues as the Sugar Mags have struggled to maintain possession. A throw out in front of one of the Nevilles. That was a great find there from Sarah Saunders. She was in all sorts of stall count pressure there. Strawn. Rickards Tang. A tangle in the stack. coming back as the players make up their ground.
You think the context of this game, how important this little run is here, Dan?
And it's Strawn, ever reliable. Gregory. Rickards Tang's open. Beard that can't stop the throw. And Manly, 11s.
11 all. They've brought it back. That was the one they really needed, Manly. They've kept the momentum. We see this struggle again for momentum and the lead. That was a great effort from Manly. They put the pressure on and there was a lot of pressure both on the mark of Sarah Saunders. She found a beautiful outlet to K-Moz, but she could not continue that, and then they just punched it in. So huge there for Manly. Hoping Spears, looks like she's all right. She's coming back onto the line. Might have just been a bit gassed. But 11 all, wow. And now Sugar Mag's having to go upwind. And that wind picking up again just ever so slightly.
Such a tense and tight game.
Yeah, it's good. Both these teams looking for their first win this season.
Yeah, okay. So a winless day yesterday for both these sides, John?
I believe so.
Well, hasn't this women's draw just turned out to be absolutely stacked?
Yeah.
With Factory coming up, Manly and the Sugar Mags being, I wouldn't say deceptively strong, but certainly undeniably strong.
Yeah. They do not look out of place here, do they?
This 5-team tournament has been brutal.
Yeah.
Because there's no easy wins here for anyone. Oh, McCarthy just turfs one. Spears is going to go quick. No, she's going to leave it to Eng. And Eng has no receivers. Goes the inside break. Manly, they turn in a quick one. They hit the lead for the first time this game.
Yeah, and that was nice. Couldn't see the upfield option. McCartney, she looked back, tried to hit the dump and miscued. That's such a shame. But Manly, weren't they onto it like a flash? Like a seagull on a chip.
Looks like the I-Beam crank game just wrapped up.
Yeah,
I-Beam running out winners, 15-11.
Yep, and they'd be very happy. That's their first win of the season. And that matchup during the season is going to be so important just to see who gets the allocations for nationals. Only 4 positions, as I understand it, for the men's.
Well, gone are the days where if you put your hand up and got a team together, you could go.
Yeah.
Those days are well and truly behind us. It's only hard graft that'll get you there now.
Yeah.
And a result as well.
Yeah.
You need a result at regionals. That's the only way you get in. So you have a bit of a rough game. Very easy to find yourself on the cusp.
Yeah. Yep. All right, Sugar Mags. They still can win this game. They just need to punch in the downwinder. 12-11. And I'm not sure whether they started this game late, but we're seeing 83 minutes now on the clock. So
yeah, from 9 a.m. it is 83 minutes. Local time here, 10:23. So who knows? We're just enjoying the ultimate.
Yeah. We don't want it to stop.
Saunders. Oh, McCarthy spots Saunders struggling with the pull, so goes straight up the line. The receiver's really deep. Saunders, the in and the out. Adams is still really deep. Murray, gestures no. Saunders finding McCarthy, who'd come from the other side of the field, and now McCarthy.
Oh.
Ruby in the end zone. This offense from the Sugar Magnolias, it's high octane.
It is. They just go, go, go. And you can see they don't really want the reset, because the reset, when you think about it, with a force flick, is actually a hard throw. You've got to throw it into the breeze, under pressure. So they'd rather do these forward passes, and they worked it all the way down on the open side.
Okay.
12 all.
It's just It's just fascinating.
Yeah, little spike there, half spike there from Lou Ruby. She'd be happy to get that one. I'm surprised Manly wouldn't force. What Manly need to do on defence is force the resets. They can't allow this high-octane progression down the line without contesting the line.
Well, it seems to be where the Sugar Magnolias are most comfortable in just running a train over defences.
Yeah.
They are just, it's all momentum and inertia.
Yep.
Big passes, big throws, huge catches.
Righto, now.
Defence for the Sugar Mags.
The best thing here for the Sugar Mags, an early turn, good field position, and some patient offense to punch it in. That's what they'll be looking for. Manly, on the other hand, they've got Spears on as receiver. They've got throwers. This is looking like a strong line. They don't want to leave their throwers on an island if it's deep. Saunders with a pull.
Amber Richards back out for Manly. That's important. And for the first time today, we have a bricked pull.
Yeah, that's
what a
true.
time for a pull to be bricked.
Yeah. And with the wind picking up, and Saunders put that underside of the disc to the breeze with the expected result. Oh, they can't miss my beautiful brick art, surely.
The exclamation from Amber Richards. Oh, yeah, that's where it is. Well, that's what that is. Huge bid on the inside shoulder. Eng up the line. Manly, they're in possession of the disc. Richards providing the reset. Oh, that's out in front. So around halfway, the Sugar Magnolias will take possession. Lou Ruby, it's been great today for the Sugar Magnolias. Saunders is going to go with the first cut. Saunders in and out. Creates some separation. That disc is going to drop. Saunders gathers it. Joe goes to the near corner. She's a little bit stuck. Hart on the inside. Sugar Mags find their 13th.
Wow.
And that turns out that was Universe Point as the players celebrate the Sugar Magnolias at the death. They wrest that one away from Manly. And like a Manly breaker, I thought they might surge over the top and crash over the Sugar Magnolias party. But it is the local team, the Novocastrians. They win here. They beat the Manly Amalgamation.
Yeah.
And what a game that was.
What a game. Well done, both teams.
I think there's a lot of high points, isn't there, for both teams? Like, for Manly, that fight back in the second half, that's class.
Yeah, that is the fortune fire that we talked about during the game. That run they had, I'm surprised they put the zone away. Maybe they didn't want, but they want to keep that in the pocket for regionals, and they'll keep it on.
Well, I think we'll wrap it up there. We'll be back with more Ultimate here shortly on ULTI.TV. The Newcastle Gold Cup, the official start to the 2025 single-gender season here in Australia. We look forward to seeing you again soon.
ULTI.TV.
Cameras are a really good spot to recreate that video. Where is it? Nothing. Literally nothing. Thank you. all the new guys